Welcome back to TwoSun Tuesday. I'll be your host, Jerry. Alright, yeah, this is the TS162. And this is the TS162 in Micarta, otherwise known as the poor man's version, because this guy is usually a titanium frame lock with carbon fiber and S90V. However, this one is, just a little bit more down to earth in its materials. It's using, this one in particular is using 12C27, which they don't really work with a whole lot anymore. But for some reason they made a couple of them like this. However, you can find these guys quite frequently in a lot of different places, and most of them have D2, which, yeah, it's just going to perform a little bit better than this guy. Alright. So, first thing I want to address, this carbon fiber, or this micarta sucks. They do this on a decent amount of knives, and it is not my preference. If they're going to do something like this, they might as well just do G10, because, it's just a lot better. However, here's some things to note. They can do good micarta. I have some examples. This right here, this is the TS202. And it's also kind of brown color. It's a fairly popular color in China for a lot of things anyway. But, we have a much tighter and consistent weave to it, a much better feeling to it. Like I said, this is a TS202. That's from Rattlesnake here. Let's see, we also have the TS208, and this guy was relatively recently released. This is in green micarta, but I think they also do a brown version. And this also, much, much better. More comfortable, more consistent in the weave. Yeah, this is great. Like I said, this is a 208. This is from Night Morning. And a really, really strange one. This is the TS312. Now, this is technically micarta. It has a whole bunch of milling kind of going on there. But it's also fairly polished and dense. A little bit denser than a lot of other micarta would be. So it's pretty darn interesting. Very, very comfortable. I do like it. This one has orange thumb studs for, reasons, but it's also a flipper, and this one's also from Night Morning. So yeah, they can do good micarta. I think it just depends on how much or a target price that they're actually kind of looking for on these guys. This one, probably not the biggest, but hey, I really do like the design. So yeah, here we go. Like I said, it's a TS162. This one's a Wong design, which, if you've seen a lot of my other videos, you probably are familiar with the fact that I really do like Wong as a designer. He does a lot of really fantastic designs, especially those that cater to all hand sizes, especially large ones for me. But they seem to do a better job than a lot of others. This guy has a relatively bulbous blade, and probably shaped a little bit like my body. I don't know. That's sad, but probably true. But so this thing has an immense amount of belly all the way out to the tip there. And the tip is, it's fairly fine, but it still has a little bit of meat there. It's not a needle point or anything like that. Got a nice little swedge there. Actually, if you look between that and there, you can kind of almost see a figure 8 kind of pattern and some milling that's happened there. We got some nice crenellation style jimping up here that's also been crowned a little bit to thin it out just a little bit. It's very grippy on the thumb, but doesn't really feel like it's going to tear you a new one. It could if you were really trying to power through a cut, but usually if you're really trying to power through something, or at least I usually switch over to a hammer grip anyway, so that really wouldn't do too bad for you. Yep, it's a good old liner lock. This one in particular. We do have a nice clearance there and a little bit of a scallop to it. Very, very easy access. No problems at all there. This has their deep carry pocket clip on there. So it's, it's certainly better than their black stamped clips. And this one doesn't do all that bad of a job, but it still does stick out there on the end and kind of get a little uncomfortable. It's fine doing it in kind of the relaxed saber grip sort of thing that actually puts the pocket clip further out here, which makes it a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, if you're more inclined to do the hammer grip or just super crazy saber grip sort of thing on there, then yeah, that clip doesn't work all that well. That being said, the initial frame lock version of it has a bespoke titanium mode clip, works better. But this is the 162 on a budget, so yeah, we got some nice flipping action. So the detent is dialed in quite nice. We also have a bit of a fuller here with a little bit of a cutout there. Makes it really easy to if you want to roll it out, and super easy for doing spidey flicking. So that's pretty darn fantastic. G10 spacer back here comes up pretty darn far and has a whole bunch of crenellations and a little bit finer crenellations there on the end, I suppose, for more of your reverse grip tactical sort of situations there. But yeah, it works out pretty darn well. It does have an oval here for the lanyard, and it goes through the back spacer there. So yeah, it at least protects your lanyards a little bit more than it would otherwise do if they just drilled a hole through the handle and you just had the liners there without anything else. But also because that back spacer comes up there, the blade is fairly buried in there, so you don't really have any trouble with the edge being too exposed or anything like that. You could probably see a little bit of a shine there on the blade. That actually was not from that. It's because I'd recently finished doing a blade cut test on this, and I haven't sharpened it since. For 12C27, this did 370 cuts, which for 12C27, that's pretty darn good. I usually get somewhere around like 160 to 200 on 12C27 from the few companies that I've tested it on, like OpenL and CJRB on some of their cheaper RIA models and whatnot. So this still did a pretty good job, but yeah, D2 would certainly do you even better, as long as, you don't mind the fact that it's semi-stainless. Some people have enormous problems with it, and some people, like me, really don't. Like, as long as I don't, cut a ham sandwich with mustard and leave it on there, then I'm good. So, yeah, I guess your mileage may vary with that particular tool steel, but, yeah, that goes all across the board. Yeah. I really do wish that they would just kind of abandon this style of carbon fiber. That's not the word I'm looking for. Micarta. There we go. But yeah, how about if we go ahead and get some measurements on this guy here. And then I shall take a look on the inside of it. Diamond weight. Come on now. All right, 4.74 ounces. So, not a dainty little knife. Basically 134.5 grams. Let's see, what are my calipers set to? Millimeters, so let's do blade stock thickness. And yeah, we basically have 3.8 millimeters there. It's of course going to move as soon as I pull it off of there, but yeah. Now, this guy does have a bit of a thick handle kind of going on there. Yeah, there you go. Basically 0.65 of an inch, which is a little thick for some people, but that does give you a lot of meat to actually grab onto, as long as, you have pockets that'll accommodate that. Probably not the best one to walk around in some basketball shorts, but, if you're actually wearing some decent work pants out on a job site or something like that, then, yeah, this guy won't bother you at all. And yeah, we're coming in just shy of 3.9 inches. So yeah, not a small knife. But a small price. Or at least I haven't really seen these things go for more than 45 to $50 or something like that. And it's a pretty darn good price for that. Oops. Still, my personal preference would be that they would just use G10 for this instead of this Micarta stuff. So that guy said, that one. Oh, you know what? This screw right here, that I had taken off of where the hell this stupid knife is. Where you at? There we go. Remember the clip screw here on the TS328? That was all messed up. That was where I put it so I could swap it out. No problem. I'll just unscrew it from the post side. There you go. So yeah, we got this on the inside. We got a nice stone wash working finish kind of thing going on here, which is interesting because it does have bearing races on there, even though this is a steel liner. Not something you see all that often, but it was probably because this was adapted from the titanium frame lock, in which these bearing races are necessary. Yeah, just an itty bitty little pocket kind of carved out there, but we do have quite a bit of skeletonization going on there. We can also see these extra screw holes there. Kind of looks like well, I'm going to go with a face that's kind of perturbed, but I suppose if you also had that second screw in there, you could probably also consider it to be a set of memories. I don't know. I do believe that's a little bit more construction kind of left over from the initial frame lock version of this. But yeah, we do have a G10 backspacer on there. Relatively simple. We got the bleed stop pin. It's fairly up towards the top. Yeah. Screw this little bugger back together. Well, I probably shouldn't say little. This thing is not a little tiny chick. It's quite the large rooster. Put that in a little bit, then I can hold it with my fingers so I can tighten it up from the other side. Yeah, just kind of a way to continue to use that screw without it causing trouble on some, more expensive cutlery. So, yeah, now that it's all back together and everything, I guess I should probably give some sort of final thoughts or whatever. I really do like this knife design quite a bit. I can see that this, for the most part, I would assume is a sharpening choil. Because, I mean, if Wong usually puts a sharpening or a finger choil in there, they're much larger than that. So, yeah, and at that, does a great job of, being well past the plunge grind on the knife there. So, you don't really have any problems with that. You got plenty of sharpenings to go on it. Still, I think for a budget knife, it's all right, but I would probably prefer if they were going to, do the micarta like this, they might as well do it in G10 because they do a fantastic job on most of their G10 knives. And, it would be a little bit more preferable than the fecal-like nature of their really, really cheap micarta here. I would like at some point to try to get my hands on the original frame lock. I do see them show up from time to time, but yeah, they do command some prices, and it is kind of an older one, an S90V, which also worries me because I haven't had super great luck with that in the past. So this is a great middle ground, and for a knife in its $30 to $40 price range, which seems to be around where they end up going, then yeah, it's pretty darn nice beater knife for you. But yeah, that's all I really have to say going on with this. Other than to say, I really hope that moving forward, TwoSun leans a little bit more into their higher quality micarta, because they can do some fantastic work with this stuff. Or, and I doubt it would happen, but if they would work out something with QSP to kind of figure out if they're making their micarta or if they're purchasing it from someone, that they do that, because QSP's micarta is fantastic. All right, yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say. So, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. And, consider subscribing if you like what I'm actually doing here.